How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great video here on the Savior Show. Today I've got my notes. I got my professional studio lampage here because I keep it high quality here on this channel. I'm all about quality. So if you're new to the channel, make sure that you do go down below and subscribe. Check out the electronic synth music that I make on Spotify. I would appreciate it so much. Any support would mean so much to me. You have no idea. Even a small donation on PayPal means the world to me, so I can keep doing the show and make more content. Consuming content and consciousness. This is the world. So become a sinner today, become a disciple of the Savior channel, and join this amazing community. You won't regret it. I do all kinds of videos, from philosophical videos to game retrospectives. Today I want to share with you my Plague Tale Requiem review and basically my thoughts on this game as it's coming out tomorrow. I've only played the preview version of the game. I've only managed to have partial access to some of the chapters, so the full game might be different, but I feel like I've played enough and I've done enough research that I can give you an accurate and honest review of A Plague Tale Requiem. So in this A Plague Tale Requiem review, I'm going to give you positives and I'm going to give you some negatives, and I'm just going to give you my subjective opinion on the game. Remember, we all have different opinions. By pre-ordering games, that's how consumers and gamers have lost all agency when it comes to do with the media, and that's how, you know, developers can just sell you bullshit products and expect you to pay a lot of money for a broken pile of shit, and that's the modern day gaming industry, so don't do that, okay? So the first thing that I want to say about this game is this is a story driven game, okay? And that's a big plus, because the voice acting in this is just superb. The sound design is also very nice. The music is very fitting with the theme, and you know, it's not overwhelming, it's just very subtle. And as an audio guy myself, you know, when I have good audio in games, that just makes me so happy, and this is, you know, pretty high up there when it comes to do with audio. This time around in A Plague Tale Requiem, you have way more control over your abilities, and pretty much all of the stuff that you got to use in the first game you have unlocked pretty much from the start. In this new game, you have far more abilities than you had in the previous game, which is great because, you know, it just gives you so much more opportunities and just creative freedom when it comes to avoiding combat. And this game is not an action game, it's a stealth action game with puzzle elements, and it's mostly a story driven narrative experience, but the combat here does feel more fleshed out, and you can be more hands-on with the combat if that's what you want to do, which is super cool because now you have the ability to control the rats and to control the powers of the plague itself, which is super great and gritty and disturbing. This game doesn't shy away from the gritty realism of our world and the darker elements of it when it comes to do with the combat, dealing with plague and death. The characters here feel alive and are written with intelligence and just a lot of maturity to them as they are growing up, because in the previous game they were much younger and they feel a lot more mature now. The Unreal Engine here also looks just astounding, and I don't care about graphics, but it does look nice. I do have to say the art style is very fitting. The art style can be beautiful because it's a mixture of decay, and then you have these elements of breathtaking nature, which reminds you that nature doesn't care about, you know, plagues or what's going on with humans, and it reminds you that even though this story is about a dark experience, that this time will pass. And yeah, there's just something quite reassuring about that when you go from one strong theme of dark, plague-infested rats eating people alive to a beautiful forest. And I just think the game does a good job of, you know, balancing those themes. The story is of course the main focus in this game, and it is still good. I would say it's not as interesting as the first game, but it is still engaging and you do still want to see what happens to these characters. And if you have played the first game, then you will definitely like this. If not, definitely play the first game first, because if you go into this, then you're not going to know what the hell's going on. This game does do a good job of, you know, portraying empathy with these characters, and not many games can do that. You know, The Last of Us, the first one, did a great job of that. It's quite difficult to do in a narrative story game. The Last of Us Part 2 didn't do that well, in my opinion, and a lot of people agree, because it was trying to force a narrative instead of allowing the narrative to speak for itself. And if you've played the first one, then you can rest assured that this is pretty much doing the exact same thing as the first one. It's not like The Last of Us Part 2, where it's disconnecting its, core themes just to try and fit a narrative. It feels very similar to the first game. It just feels a little bit more fleshed out. There's more combat that you can play around with. There's more gameplay mechanics. I will get on to the negatives now, but overall, my review of A Plague Tale Requiem is it's shaping up to be a very good game. Like I said, I've only played some of it, so I can't give you my full analysis of this, but I'm feeling pretty confident with it if you like this type of game. But if you don't, and you like only gameplay focused games, and I'm kind of on that spectrum of liking games that are just more focused about gameplay, and then the narrative is something that you can engage with if you want, like Dark Souls for example. But if you want something more linear, then this is a good time. So now let's get on to the negatives, okay? Because there are negatives, and if you're like me and you're tired of the modern day gaming tropes, then you might just want to wait for a sale, because, this doesn't reinvent the wheel. In fact, it does a lot of bullshit stuff that I absolutely hate. So I do like it, but I'm not gonna go out and get this straight away, because to me, it is still rather generic. The story is what's interesting. The gameplay here is slightly generic, even though there is more stuff to engage with. Much better than the first one, because that was pretty bare bones. But there are some visual bugs that I need to mention. There are some weird tracing animations that sometimes happen that I've noticed. The performance isn't that good, but I'm sure these are just going to get patched. The puzzle solving here is very simplistic, and it just treats you like a kind of baby, dumb baby boy, okay? It's not that good. This is kind of a long escort mission, but it's not like those bullshit escort missions that are so horrible to play like in Assassin's Creed. This is more like Resident Evil 4, where your companion isn't completely brain dead, and, you actually care about them. You actually care about them to some degree, so it's not too annoying. The AI is also pretty abysmal. Sometimes you can do a stealth kill by literally standing right in front of them, which feels quite janky and dated. The stealth mechanics here are very gamey. Stealth in gaming has not progressed since Splinter Cell, years and years and years ago, and I'm tired of that bullshit. It's got X-ray vision, all of that crap. I don't engage with that. If you don't focus on the bad elements and you get engrossed in the story, the gameplay stuff won't annoy you that much. But it is still, kind of generic, and that's why I'm kind of mixed on it, because it is good, but I wouldn't say this is groundbreaking or anything that incredible, but it is solid and a good experience. So that's my review of A Plague Tale Requiem. Please let me know what you think down below in the comments, and just give me your thoughts on the current gaming industry, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, make sure that you do subscribe, peace out.